guys, I had a lot of requests about how I made the doors of the Abandoned Houses journal. So I'm going to try and make a tutorial about it. The process isn't that difficult, the base. The technique is a mixed media technique, and I will show you, and well, I hope you like it. I might do some talking and I might fast forward a bit in certain points because it's quite a long process and it would be a bit boring if, you know, just watching and watching. So that's what I'm going to do. I will make both of the sides, and we're going to start with the front with the blue doors. What I did was, again, another pizza box. I do need to start eating more pizzas. This is really bad for my health, you guys. I need more pizza boxes for my covers. Anyway, I measured it out, and let's see, because some of you use inches and some of you use centimeters. What you want is the box, or the pizza box. You need to use those smaller sides, because you like this flips open, right? So that's why you need those flaps. But the front, what you will see is, because I measured 15.5 centimeters or 6 1/8 inch, but you need to divide that in half. So this side will always be the same, but this will be like, you need the half of your cover. So that's what I did. So 15.5 centimeters divided into 2, or 6 1/8 of inch divided into 2. So we're just going to cut this. And I hope I'm explaining it well. So that's one piece. So this is how this will be glued down on your cover so that you can open it like this. You need the other one. Don't throw away this piece because we're still going to need it later. Okay, now what I did was I already cut out these panels because it's a bit you know, it takes a bit long. You need to measure everything, and what I would recommend is using cardboard. Now, I don't have that much left, so I just figured I'm going to use a packaging from, what's it called? Your washing thing. Anyway, the thing that you wash your clothes with, your soap. And I measured everything already, because it's, you know, the cutting and the measuring, it's a bit boring, but I'll tell you. So you take the measurement of your cover, which was, where's my paper? Which was 8 7/8 of an inch, or 22.5 centimeters. And this side. Then you measure 1.5 centimeters, or what is it, 7/8 of an inch. So you can make this border. So all these sides are the same distance, and this too. So it's all 1.5 centimeters or 7/8 of an inch. Then you cut this out, and you are left with these pieces. Now they fit in, you know, but you want them a little bit smaller, because you want to have this gap. So just cut them on one side, just cut it a bit. And on the smaller side, you also cut it a bit. You want to trim off so it's nice and equal. With your cardboard, that's very easy. See, this is still not going in. Maybe it's not the correct one. Could be. Because yeah, I do measure, but you know, I'm not like... So I'm just guesstimating this. So this goes in, and then you are left with a gap. Now you want to do the same with this. This needs a little more. Now I'm sure some of you are really particular with your measurements. I am not. But that's the idea. So you do the same with your other one. Let me just put it like this for the colors. Just trim off a bit. And let's see if it fits. Just a little more. Now, like I said, I do recommend using the chipboard, the cardboard. Chipboard, it's the same thing. Because this is, you will not have a very straight line, but just for sake of the video, I'm using this. See, that's better. And the other one. Yeah, okay, so then we can glue it. And don't worry, you know, if nothing, if it isn't really that neat, or, you know, you can always just try and work with it a bit. Like I said, I recommend not to use packaging like this. But the pizza boxes were a bit thin because you do want some, what's it called, depth in your journal or in your cover. You want it to raise a bit. So, but anyways, you know, later with covering it in paint, it will be fine. Now, some of you asked me how I made these doors, and I was surprised. I'm just an amateur here, and I'm it's not very special, the things that I think it's not very special, the things that I do, and in my head it might be simple. I don't know. I do like to do mixed media too. I love the junk journaling, and I love the mixed media. And I think it's always a bit fun to combine these things. Because I don't always get, wait, this is not right. That's better. So you see, it's not really equal by size, but it doesn't really matter. So let's do the other one. Wait, trim this off a bit. So I'm not really worrying about this because it's about the technique and about how to make the base. So, but if I would really gonna use it for my journal, I would really use the cardboard. I see it's a bit long. No. If it's just not the right size and you have a little bit of excess, it's okay. You can just trim that off. Okay. Okay. Now, today is kind of a dark day, so I hope the lighting is okay. And don't worry about things not being equal. It's a handmade product, you know, so it's not. So now you have your doors. And that's how simple it is. I said don't throw away the pizza box because we want to have a smaller piece on here. So we measure. This is like, say, 1 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4. Am I saying that correct? No, 3 1/2. So 1 3/4. And 3 1/2, I said, no? Yeah, so 3 1/2. So you want to 3 1/2. So you want to do 3. 3 inches. So you want to make 2. So and I said 1 3/4, but you want to make that 1 1/2 because you need some, it needs to be a bit smaller. My mistake. Okay. And then you'll just cut this out. And see, then you have your smaller panels. So it's not difficult, it's very easy. And I'm just trying to center it. It will not be equal on all sides, but I don't really care because when you're going to cover it in paint, you will not notice. So we're going to do the same. You're going to need 1 1/2. By 3. And this is a bit smaller, so you need a little bit more here. And 3 and 6. Okay. Now if you didn't measure correctly, don't worry, you can always trim off a little bit more. Okay, put this aside. Take your other door. See, now this one needs a little bit more trimming. And this one also, just a teeny tiny bit. Let's see if it works. Yeah, that's better. Like this. Now, the next step is we are going to paint it. But since this is a very soft material, we're going to need it to cover it in gesso. But first, the next step. Let's see if I can open it. This is it's sticky. This is lava paste. And what it does, it creates this, I put this on the corners, like here and here and here. I wanted to create some moss because it's an abandoned house journal, so it needs to look a bit, you know. So that's why I put some lava paste. Now, if you don't have lava paste, don't worry, you can do that with some texture paste. Now, if you don't have texture pastes, I will tell you in a bit what you can do with it, or later in the video, because we're going to use it on our other door. But you're going to need, for the lava paste, you're going to need a heat tool, because it needs to heat up. I'm just going to put that where, you know, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. But that's the fun of mixed media, using all these products. I like it, but you know, just putting some there. I'm not really thinking about it. I imagine how an old door would look, and then just put it on that place. So that's it. And now I'm just going to, well, first I'm going to plug in my heat tube, because I didn't do that. You stupid idiot. And you're just going to heat it up. And when it starts to heat, I don't know if the camera will show you, but it starts to create bubbles. And that's what you want. Then it's setting, and then you know it's done. So the thinner you make your layer, the smaller bubbles, and the bigger you make your layer, you know, the bigger. Okay, so that's one. This one is also setting. So it doesn't take that long. See? Okay. Now this is done, and I am going to cover this in gesso. Other side, Veerle. It's sticky stuff. Sticky. And I'm putting some plastic in it so it will not, so I can easily close and open it, but it's not gonna go bad. So I am gonna clean this, and I'm going to cover this in gesso. It's, you know, a boring process, so I'm not going to bore you with it. I'm using a thin gesso. It's a primer. That makes sure that the paint will not soak in too much. But I would recommend to use heavy gesso, because with the thinner one you need 2 or 3 layers. So, but I'll be back in a bit. So as you see, the doors have been covered in gesso, and now we're going to paint it. These sides you don't need to worry about. It's not important. Because you're going to be gluing them down. You won't see them. So I did use this Texture Fantasy Effect paste. It's like a certain type of paint, but it has like, it's not really smooth like normal paint. Yeah, it has a certain amount of structure in it. It's a bit rough. Art Alchemy Texture Fantasy Effect paste. Now it's similar like the Rust paste. I don't know if you know that. People who do the mixed media probably know. And I used old walls, and I used 2 colors. The blue and the, what is this, cream. And I used the blue for my base. Now it also contains a green one. Didn't use it. Hey, why don't I use the green one instead of the blue one? Good idea. No, not for this, because then I cannot do the moss. So that's not, doesn't make sense, right? So just going to open this up. And I'm going to paint this. Now, like I said, it has some sort of grain or something in it, like really small, but I don't know if you see. It's not smooth like normal paint, which gives it the old look, which I'm going for. Now I might speed this process up, because I think I have to do this twice. Just because the edges with the cardboard, they need to, oh, I'm sorry. I need to cover them really well, otherwise it shows. So I'm going to speed this process up, and I'll be back for the next step. Okay, so these are painted. Next step, we take the cream color. Now I did use this, oh shit, dropping my pencil, or my my brush. Smart. I used, this is quite an expensive brand, Finnabair, but you can use any paint you like. Even dollar store paint, you know, doesn't really matter. So, but I wanted to use this one. Oh, this is the lava paste. Wrong one. This one I need. just take a dry brush because you're not going to need a lot of paint. You're just going to dry brush on some places, not everywhere, just some areas that you want to give it like a whitewash look. That's it. It's very easy. And here, you don't need to worry about it. It's, if it's not equally everywhere, because that's the fun part. Like if you have an old door, they don't really look, you know, the paint doesn't look similar everywhere. So that's kind of the thing you need to keep in mind. So I think I'm just going to leave this for now. Quick tip, if you use this type of paint, clean your brushes immediately, because it will get hard, because there's a grain in it. It will get hard and you will not be able to use it. So, next step. Sorry, I'm not used to this setup quite yet. We're going to need some green paint, and I'm using not the one in the box, but this is a bit more vibrant. So we want to create the moss. So we are going to do that with a paper towel. You don't need a lot. You just dip it in your paint and softly touch those areas that you covered in with your lava paste, the raised parts. And it will give you kind of, it's more alive like this. So a little bit here, just where you think the moss will grow. Not too much, you don't want to be covered in green, but just some touches. So that's it, really simple. I hope the camera shows. So this was the journal. Let me put the paint aside. This was the journal that I made, and these are the doors. The only thing now you need to figure, and which is a personal thing, what closure that you want. I used a key with a brad and a hinge post to close it, but you can choose anything you want. The last step, when it's dry, you're going to glue these sides onto your journal, like this. And there you have your doors. Just need a closure, and you can flip it open like this and later cover the inside of your doors. That's something, you know, just put papers or paint it, whatever you like. Oh shit, sorry. But that's kind of the idea. So it's not that difficult, and you can just really use simple products for the lava paste. You don't need lava paste. You can use texture paste or make your own texture paste, and I will show you, or I will tell you how to do that when I'm doing the next door, because then we're going to use texture paste. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. Okay, so time for the back door. This one. Like you've seen in the flip through, it opens. So we're going to do the same as with the front door, the blue ones. I measured the same size of the cover that I'm going to use. So that would give me 15.5 centimeters or 6 1/8 of an inch, and 22.5 centimeters or 8 7/8 of an inch. So we're just gonna, you also need this flap. So we're just gonna cut this, and I do need to straighten this a bit. Because you're going to need a base where you can glue the door onto. And this is your base, not your cover. If you want to be able to open it up, you're not going to glue it directly onto your cover. But you'll need this to flip like this. Okay. Now I already measured. Hey, my dogs are chasing the cat, sorry. I already measured, and since this is since this is 15.5 or 6 1/8 of an inch, you're going to want to make your door a little bit smaller. So I did 15 centimeters and 5 7/8 of an inch, and I made it a little bit shorter so that I think I did 20.5 centimeters. Yeah, 20.5. Because you're going to need to leave some space between your panels. So first thing we're going to do, I drew this out and I used a ball like this. Just check your kitchen, whatever that covers your width of your door and has a round side. So it doesn't really matter what you use. You probably have something in your kitchen. So just gonna cut this, I think. Now again, also for this, it's easier if you use, or prettier if you use the cardboard. But for sake of the video, okay. So now you see all these lines, so we are going to cut all those lines. And yeah, you could use a knife for this, but I tried the knife on the front door, and it also didn't really work that well with this material. So I'm just gonna cut this. Now you want to make it kind of straight. And I do think I'm making a lot of advertisements for products in this video. Now I'm keeping this in the order that I'm cutting because you want this to add up. The last one. So see, now you have your door. Next step is gluing it on your base. Now, like I said, you want to leave some space between your, so you're just gonna have to check how much space that you can keep in between your slates. And it will not be that much. So we're just going to glue this down. And because I see I don't have much room left on this side, I'm just going to add it up until the fold. You don't need a lot of space in between those parts, but just a little, because when you're going to cover it with paint, you'll see. And the good thing about glue, using glue here, is that you can shift still. It's not immediately stuck to your base. Now I see I'm going a little crooked, so I can just switch it back. Of course, before starting your paint, you're going to need to let it dry. It needs to set. Okay. And the last piece. Now, any excess I will cut off on this side when it's totally dry. Okay. Now on this door I already made, we have those panels, so we're going to take a leftover piece and I'm gonna just cut it. Now, sure, you can measure it. But I don't. Now you want to make these sides round. So it will come like this. And if they are too long, if you prefer it not to be like this, but like this, just trim it off. Like this. Then the other one. Just Just rounding it off. And make a mark so it will be the same as the top one. Okay. Gluing this down. Okay, now to make the dots of the nails, I'm just going to use some flat back pearls. And I'm just going to, it's not dry yet. Just putting some extra glue because they don't stick that well. Okay, I'm using the biggest ones I have. And gluing it down. Now I'm gonna go over it with my heat tool just to speed up the process. And then I'll be right back. So this is sort of glued down. You can put this aside. And we're going to add the next step. Now the next step is the texture paste. Now I'm using this brand, but there's a lot of different brands. I use a palette knife, but you can use a knife or a spoon or your fingers, whatever you want. If you don't have the texture paste or the modeling paste and you don't want to buy any because you're not into mixed media, but you still want to try this technique, take some gesso or some regular acrylic paint and add flour, just your kitchen flour. Just add some and mix it up. Start slowly. It will become a thick mass, and you can always make it as thick as you want because you either add gesso or paint or a little bit more flour. Now that is the cheap way to make some homemade modeling paste, and there are a lot of tutorials about this also on YouTube. So if you want to try it and you don't want to immediately buy an expensive product, try googling it on or search for it on YouTube, and you will find all kinds of videos for that. I'm going to use the modeling paste and my palette knife, and I'm not going to add a thick layer. I'm just going to add a layer, but I want these lines, the spaces you created, you need to keep them open. So you're just going to go in between. You can use your knife, your fingernail, the back of your spoon, anything, a toothpick, anything that you have at hand. So, because I know some people are how to say, they are a bit overwhelmed by all the products people sometimes use, or kits, or expensive papers, or but there's no need. I started out with the mixed media, like making my own modeling paste, using cheap paints. Because first you want to try, right? If you even like it. So Don't worry if it's not equal. If you have, like me, you have those parts that are not covered very well. Don't worry, it's an old door. Gives it an extra effect. Okay, so now we want to open all these cracks or these spaces up. If possible. And I have to say, with the cardboard it's a bit easier. But this gives you the effect of the old wooden doors that are made by hand. Okay. Just cleaning my knife off. Now, what you want to do is, I'm using this. I could use this. Just something with a thin point. And you want to make like the lines that you see in the wood. So that's why we are using the texture paste. Doesn't need to be straight, just some lines is enough. So that's kind of it. And if you want to have a bigger opening, just go back in with this. And this door particularly, it has a wooden look, so it would also work very well with a fairy journal or woodland, or, you know. I'm going to dry this, and I will put, no, I'm going to dry this, then put the lava paste like I did on the front doors, and cover it in gesso. So I'll be back when I finished that. I don't think I need to show you the same process, so I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what you get after the modeling paste, the lava paste, and the gesso. So now it's time to paint it. Now I have some different colors and some spray. This is a mist and it has some glitter in it. Now you don't need to use it. I just wanted to give it a little bit of shine. And some black paint. Don't think I'm going to use that one. Maybe. I'm going to use this as a base, and I'll come in later with the lighter color and the black and the spray. So that's the process. Now, and it's actually the same type of process as I did on the front doors, but I'm using a bit more paint. Different colors, I mean. I hope I have enough paint. It's running out. Okay, so just covering everything. And you want to be sure that you have all the nooks and crannies covered. And if you don't, you'll just put a second layer. just look from different angles to see if you, nope. See, I'm still not used to this, sorry about that, to this setting for recording my videos. Some backing vocals. That was the mailman. So you just cover this entire door. I really do hope I have enough paint. So now I noticed that the gesso wasn't completely dry yet, but it's okay. I'm gonna go back in with other paints anyway, so that's okay. You do want to make sure that between every layer of paint you make sure it's dry first, otherwise your color is going to mix, and that we don't want. You can make the door in any color you want, by the way. It's just a personal choice, and I was going for those old houses with the wooden doors, old castles, villas. So that's why I chose brown. Because I really wanted to have the look of a wooden door, but you can just choose whatever you want. Just making sure I have all the sides covered. So, okay, we dry this. Okay, so next step, I'm just gonna spray a little bit of the spray, and as you see, it's wet. I don't know if the camera picks it up, the sparkle, but then we dry this. Okay, so the reason why I am going in with the spray first is I don't want the whole door to be shiny. So I'm gonna go over in areas with the paint, and the areas where I want the moss to be, that doesn't need to be sparkly because it has moss on it. So then I can go over with the other paints. I don't know if it shows on the camera, but it has like a copper shine to it. Okay, so let's go in. Just gonna clean this off a little. I am going to use the darker one before I go in with the black. Now this is the same as the front door, the blue one. You're just going to add this in certain parts. So the parts that you want to be darker than the rest of your door, if that makes any sense. And you're going to dry brush it. So not fully cover this with the paint, just it needs to be some type of shade, like, and what it does, it will give you your door a bit of dimension. So that's the idea. Okay, then you dry that again. Okay, so as you can see, it already has a bit more dimension, a little bit more depth color-wise. So now we go in with the black. No, we go in with the lighter one. And we only need a little bit of paint. And we're going to do the same. We're going to dry brush like we did with the cream on the front door. Just going to add a little bit of light in certain places, not everywhere, just to add some more interest to your door. So don't make your brush too wet. And this is enough. This is enough. So it doesn't need a much drying, but okay, so then we go in with the black. And this is a very cheap brand. It's not, oh. Okay, and I want a bigger brush. So for sake of the video, I'm just going to make the background black. On the journal I made it gray. Doesn't really matter. It's about the process, right? So I don't know if you all wanted to see how I painted this, or if you just wanted to see the you know, the paper part, how to assemble the door. But if you don't want to see this, then just skip it. So we're going to do the same. We're going to just dab this in certain areas. Don't forget the sides. And you're not going to cover everything in black. The brown should be peeking through here and there. It's just more shading. That's actually what it does. So don't use too much paint, because that will give the wrong effect, I guess. dry brushing. And if you don't like it, you can go back in if it's too dark for your taste, you can go back in with the darkest brown and add a bit more. It will give a nice look. And it will make it less harsh, the black, I guess. Just go back and forth with the colors. It's doesn't really matter. It's just what you like. And when you're happy with it, that's personal taste. So that is what we have now. And now for the last step, the moss. And it's the same thing like I did with the front door, the blue ones. Just put some paint down, take a paper towel, add a little bit and dab on your cloth, and just add a little bit of paint on that lava paste that you put down. Now don't worry if you think you added too much green, just go back in with the brown or the black. And here's also some moss growing. Don't forget to look at the size. Because those areas you don't want to forget, because it will show. Okay, so I guess that's it. Now this one, the journal I already made had, I put a hinge post here so I can close this up. You can do whatever you want. You can use buttons, a hinge post, you can put a lock, a door lock here, just whatever that you prefer. And then it's ready to be glued down on your cover. Like that. Now you could go in with some waxes. I don't have them at hand right now, but you could make this like gold copper to make it shine a bit more. But that's really it. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope I explained it well enough. And well, if you try and make this, please share with me. I would be happy to see it. Thank you for watching. Bye.